Tables can sometimes give us a hard time when we use the split cell or the merge cell. And a lot of times we do this so it looks better to our eyes. And I get that. I really do. I've done it before as well. But it really causes havoc with anybody using a keyboard to navigate through the table or a screen reader because the table is no longer regular and you don't have the same number of columns everywhere. So it's really confusing. Here's an example. This is just one I put together. We would not have used a table for this information because there's just not enough to make it worth doing a table. But that said, I've got the accessibility checker activated, and it tells us right here that we have one cell that needs, let's see if we can draw this out a little bit. There's one cell that has a problem. And it also gives you some additional information. It tells you why you should fix it and how you can go about making this better. A couple of choices here. So in this particular case, we've got, I'm going to use my tab key here. We've got column A here, and the header is book title. Here it says age range is our next column. And then this column here says domain area. Well, that's fine, but then look what we've done. We've put another row with additional header information. So now we're not sure what is there. And in this case, what we've done is set up a place to check for infant or for preschool. So we've got a header issue where we have 3 columns, and then table cell information where we have 4 columns, and that is confusing if you can't see it. So we have a couple of choices here how we can fix this. I believe what we had done here was used the table layout, and we had set it up with 4 columns, and then we decided, well, we wanted to call this age range, and there are 2 subcategories of age range. So we had merged these 2 columns into one. One thing we could do is we could split it back into 2, call this age range infants, and then call this age range for preschool. And now that makes some sense. We also don't really need to have this second row here. So another way we could fix this is to take the infants part and add it to the header. Take the pre-K part and add it to the header. Delete this whole row because that's where some confusion starts happening, right? We don't need that anymore. We've got this column here, this row here, sorry, row. And now we've got 4 columns that make sense. We have 4 in the header and 4 here. So that's one way to fix that. Sometimes if we have lots of information in a table, it makes sense to split the table up into more than one table, or even to consider using bulleted items. The other piece about the table is that we would need to add a summary of what the table is telling us in a text box. And we could either do that off the screen, like we showed with some of the other examples, or we could add it as a footer down here where it would be visible. And that might be helpful for lots of people, not just screen reader users.